Okay, we are back in part two with Zack Djurica from Nomad Arts Archery in Canada. Part one we did a couple of days ago, where we talked about his introduction to making quivers, arrows, his working with arrowheads and things like that. And in part two, Zack is going to actually show us his workshop area, which is going to be the first time I think we've done something like this on these interviews, where we can actually see where the craftsman does their work, look at their tools. He's going to take us through some quivers or jobs that he's partway through doing as well, and just show us, you know, what it takes to make a quiver. Obviously not from start to finish, but at least we can see the stages of that. So Zack, I'll leave it open over to you.
What I wanted to show is one of the first quivers I did years ago, and it was supposed to be a surprise for my wife. You can see how big and unwieldy it is, but when you start, that's how they go. And it had leg strap, which is not historically accurate, but I didn't know better. Also, it has up front, I'll take this apart. It has a pocket for with the fur. I use a sheep fur, so the arrows would be more steady. I thought that is very good idea at the time. And I don't know why this idea never caught on, but that's what I thought way back then. And later on, I changed. There we go. I changed idea not to have the fur, but it is very good. Because if you point it upside down, they won't fall off. But yeah, this is one of my first quivers I did, maybe in the first dozen. And I used lacing. I hope you can see very well.
Yeah,
we can talk about that later as well. And this was basically where I started. You can also see I never added this part. I just didn't know better at the time. That's how it was, and that's what it was. And also, we talked about, these are my dummy arrows. They're not meant for shooting, because otherwise I'm going to sell them, and I'm going to have nothing to show how the quiver works. Another quiver I want to show, it's where the basic design starts. It looks like pretty much like this. Never finished. I started years ago. And I'm gonna bring it a bit of a closer. You can see fading of the leather. You can see wood structure,
right,
that has a certain U shape to it.
Yeah.
And then what I did, you can see here, it's actually broken arrow, but I use that piece to connect this part, so when you hit it, it will not break apart as easily. That's also when I didn't know better that this should be 3 pieces, not 1 piece of wood. Actually, I can take it apart, because that's very important to the people who are starting making quivers. This hole. No.
What type of model quiver is this one?
Screwdriver or something. This one would be I call it Siberian type because it's used by native people in Central East Asia. There are many, many examples of it. I wish I thought of this and took it apart before, but it doesn't take that long. It's a very simple quiver in construction. I'm sure that many people are gonna find how useful it is, this construction. When we first started on Atarn, we basically all agreed this is how it should look. Then most of the old guard guys, they stopped making quivers, and the new guys, they started doing more Ottoman type. But I think this is good enough to show the structure. So this part should be separate piece of wood from this one and this one. So it should be 3 pieces of wood with the dovetail structure, which is much stronger, and you can use much harder wood, and it works way better. Then there's no need for this part of wood to reinforce it, because it's much stronger on its own. I bought quiver that inspired this one. I bought it on auction in auction house in New York. It cost me pretty penny, and I'm trying to sell it, but there's no interest in these things. And Peter Decker, I strongly suggest you to interview him as well if you get the chance.
Yeah, I'm trying to find a slot with him. He's very busy.
Yes, it's not easy for none of us. So this is what I thought it should look like. But actually it would be 1 piece of wood here, dovetail here, and this would be separate piece of wood, and this one would be non-existent. And in here, it looks like, I don't know if you're familiar with Corvette, has all those beautiful curves. Like
yes, I know.
It has beautiful curves in here, everywhere. It has silver. It's like a stretched out bracelet. It's a beautiful, beautiful quiver, and I was so fortunate to have it in a hand, check it out, check all the stitching, all the details. Where did they cut the corners? What is you should see? What is you shouldn't see? And stuff like that. So it was a very, very interesting learning curve.
So what you're saying is a 2-piece or a 3-piece is better constructed than 1 piece?
Yes, it should be 2-piece. Like this is my template that I keep inside of this quiver. This should be 1 piece.
Yeah.
This should be 2nd piece, joined in this corner, and it would be dovetail.
Right.
Dovetail.
Yeah.
Depending on pronunciation, and it's a very, very strong point, and it can sustain pretty much anything. Another thing I wanted to show is this is basic model of the quiver. You can see how big Manchu arrows
very
can
big,
be. Maybe I can move back a bit.
Yeah. These are over 34 inches or something, 33 inches.
You can see the longest one, total length is 42 inches.
Wow.
So here, I hope,
I can see inside.
There's a folded felt. And this prevents arrows from falling out.
Right.
If I'm not sure if I balance this quiver to fit me. It's this would be my cheapest model, but also I'm going to explain how it works. You see the arrows go as far as back.
Yeah, I can see. Yeah, yeah.
They could be easily
yeah.
quiver, and if properly made, it's to my belief, Manchu quivers would be pinnacle of quiver design. But then again, everybody has its own opinion, and you can see in there's a wooden piece on the bottom. There's a single stitch on the side. There's a 3-point suspension that keeps it very, very stable. And yeah, it has a felt inside, like I mentioned already.
How many arrows can you fit in that quiver?
And everything is in this one. Once again, depends on the arrows, but these are very thick. You can compare it to my thumb.
Yeah.
And I'm a carpenter and the archer, so they're about 12 millimeters or half an inch thick arrow. This one is not finished, but you do get a point. And probably 10 arrows that are this big, or you can put 20 arrows that I usually shoot, which would be something like this. These are 8 millimeter.
Ah, yes, yes.
Bamboo arrows.
Very nice.
They're basically they're much lighter, and they do the job for type of shooting that I do.
What leather is that Manchu quiver made out of?
This one is cowhide. I really like cowhide, but there are different types of cowhide that you can buy. You can buy thick and stiff, and you can also stiffen it yourself even further, so they hold the shape. Or you can get this one that I did for a Manchu bow case.
Yeah,
it's
nice.
Sort of a flimsy, yet it's very strong.
All these metal rings and you know, bat shapes and things like that. Where do you source these from? Do you get it locally in Canada, or do you have to get it abroad?
I do casting in Canada. I do it. It's about 40 kilometers away. There's a casting place that does the. This shop is specialized in rings, wedding rings and stuff like that. And,
right.
This I do all my casting locally.
So you could get stuff tailor made. If someone sends you a particular shape or something, you could get that made. Wow.
Yes. Yes. If, for example, this would be Ming Dynasty belt plate. So, in order to get, oh, actually, I was holding it. There's the two birds.
Yes, yes, I can see. Right, very nice.
They're kind of looking at each other. I hired a craftsman. I think he's the best in his business in China, and he did a master for something elaborate, which is right here. This would be fitting from 10th century Kazakhstan.
Right.
And
very nice. Very nice.
Yeah.
Yeah, I can see it. Yeah, very nice.
I did that. I carved it in a quivers wax, and then I had it cast.
Right.
And this would be one-off. I made it only once.
Right.
If you want to buy it, if you are into that period and you want authentic equipment, that would be the way.
Yeah. Yeah.
If
maybe tell us, Zack, about some of go on.
These fittings, yeah.
Okay, we're back. Can you hear me?
For the quiver, yes, I hear you.
Right. Okay. Yeah.
This would be back pockets that would go, let's say, on this quiver, even though it's not, but you can get a picture.
Is that to add more arrows in?
It would go.
Right.
It would be for special arrow, because any archer would have specialized arrows. For example, how do you put this arrowhead?
Wow.
In a quiver?
Yeah.
It's a fairly large. You need a special pocket.
Okay.
Or
whistling arrows. Yeah.
Let's try this.
Yeah.
It's whistling arrows, and you can see how big they are.
Yeah.
So this type of pockets were made
to fit that,
to house
right
this type of equipment. Also very elaborate to work with.
Yeah.
Back pockets for some takes a lot of work, and it's you can see just for the two pockets that are going to be added to the quiver, it takes about a day and a lot of skill.
Yeah.
So that's some of the stuff that.
Zack, tell us about some of the tools that you use.
Yes. So these are the. It's called head knife that I use. I have 3 of them, from big to small.
Yeah.
Very sharp, and
this is for cutting and shaping the leather, right?
Without it, I really don't know how could I do it. Yes, you can do pretty much anything with a leather just by using one of these knives.
Wow.
I do have. Well, we can make. These are some of the hammers I use. This one is one of my favorite ones.
Very interesting. I haven't seen that one before.
This one is used for. So you see, this one is pointy. I use it to set the rivet.
Aha, right.
Yes. This one is for chasing. So if you look at the work, not at the hammer, that's why this one is much bigger.
Yeah.
This one is a rawhide mallet.
Okay.
It's used, so when you use the metal tools, this will take the beating, not the metal tools.
Ah, okay.
And
yes,
I could go around the clock just explaining all the tools that I have around here.
Tell us also about, you talked about the stitching. Is any of the stitching used by machine, or everything is by hand? And also, what tool do you use to actually, sew this stitching with? You must have a big needle or something.
There's two different ways to do. Yes, there's. I'm gonna grab random one. This one is placing, but you get the idea. You would punch this is tool. You can buy it only antique.
Okay.
What it does when you have the leather,
right?
It punches the holes. I love it. I have this one and I have my spare.
Yeah.
Because sometimes people borrow it and don't give it back. But I do most of the stuff that I do with it. For example, to punch the holes for lacing.
Right.
I use this tool. It gives me repeated equal spacing.
Yeah.
I did this for my wife when I started working with it.
Very nice.
Yeah.
It seems you made a lot of samples for your wife. Were they wedding gifts or something?
Yes. After 15 years, you have to. Also, whenever I went to travel, and I think it's here. If I can see it quickly. No. I bought her so much jewelry so I can do the research in, let's say if I go to China, I will buy something Chinese.
Okay.
And it's a gift for her, but also I can see how it's made.
Yes, sure. Which countries have you been to, and where have you got inspiration from for your quivers?
I didn't travel a lot. I went to China, and that was a very important trip. But other than that, I didn't travel much. I mostly dedicate myself to the. Most of my research is through the books. Let me try if I can.
Yeah.
Show you. That's my bookshelf.
Your library. Okay.
You can
very
see
nice. Yeah.
a lot of books that I accumulated on the topic and off the topic, and it's there's no book on quivers, so I would have a book on Islamic art and find bits and pieces and then combine them, and then talk to people and discuss all those things. And
excellent.
Nowadays, it's a bit easier because people know more, but
sure.
When I started, there was nothing. So
yeah,
all I have to do is communicate with the people, network and research. And,
have you ever, and I'm just thinking, my brain is having some ideas, but have you ever done clinics where, for example, a 2 or 3 day clinic, people can pay and you provide the basic materials and they can make a very basic quiver? Is that something you have done, or is that something you would consider to do? Because maybe it's something we can do in the UK. We can invite you over or something.
Yes, I did the lessons. Friend of mine, Mike Arch, him and his wife, they opened studio for random crafts, so people would come and teach.
Okay,
and I did the knife sheet clinic. It was like a one-day project. It's for free. I do that kind of stuff, and basically it would be a very simple project.
Okay, right.
For a knife.
Nice.
I got inspired in. There's a community in Japan where they do knife sheets are the single piece of leather.
Oh,
so
wow.
Here you can see how simple it is. Just takes a bit of a time.
Yes.
And,
yeah.
It is not that hard if you have basic knowledge. Since this is archery channel, this knife was made as a gift to me by Jason Beaver.
Lovely, beautiful.
He also liked to do really nice, cool stuff.
Excellent, excellent.
Yes, so,
and all of your all of the quivers, I mean, everything is made on that desk there behind you. You don't have like another workshop or anything. That is where you make all the quivers on that desk, yeah?
yes, yes, this is it. It's I have another toolbox full of random tools and materials.
Right.
My cupboard where usually people put the clothes.
Yeah.
It's full of arrow shafts and tools and stuff like that. And
excellent.
My dozen of my Iron Maiden T-shirts and 4 pens are there, and that's plenty.
What does
really
what does I mean, I don't know if your wife is also an avid archer. Maybe she is, but what does she say about all of your equipment around the place?
She's used to it by now. She used to practice arrows, but archery. Then she got her shoulder hurt. She was working in a restaurant, so now she's trying to be a writer. So she tolerates me, I tolerate her. If she wants to stay up to 4 a.m. and she needs a peace and quiet, by all means. That's
excellent.
That's how it goes.
That's good. Now, when we spoke before, I think you have a wall of different quivers. Are you able to show us that wall in the other room?
I can duct tape my phone to drum stand, cymbal stand, but I can bring some.
Yeah, maybe bring a couple. Yeah.
Random quivers. Yes. This one, the arrows are long. I use them as a storage. This quiver is from Indonesia.
Wow.
It's made out of bamboo.
Beautiful. Wow.
It's 24 inches deep, and it has a lid, which is made out of the.
Is that one piece of big bamboo just hollowed out?
Yes.
Amazing. Nice. Very nice.
All there is, and there's this is porcupine quill. I have no idea why they have quite a few of them. And also I heard from someone that this is whatever is left from spare string that they will carry.
Right,
and
right, interesting.
It's a bamboo string. It's broken, but it is a piece of history, a piece of what they do.
Yeah.
And if somebody wants to do research, and we can explain it much further. Beautiful way of looking at the quivers, because we always picture quivers on the side and
right,
this
correct.
is how it is, and this is the best. But
yeah,
another quiver. This one is Indian. It's made out of 4 pieces of wood, and it's every time when we look to buy Mughal quiver, we want to have one that was worn by Maharaja and has diamond and engraving and all those stuff. But this would be most likely used by the common guy like me and you.
Right, right, yeah.
Arrows are okay with it. This one would be most likely.
Yeah, very nice.
It's about 5.5. It's very wide for the type of string. This arrow, I was discussing with Peter Decker. Also has a really big knock, but the arrowhead, you can see how big it is.
Yes, very big. Wow.
Up to here.
Wow.
So
it must be very heavy on the front, no?
Yes. We came to conclusion that this type of arrowheads would be used to shoot off the fortress of elephant.
Ah,
Very
yes.
heavy, and it goes down. But if you try to shoot it back, it's
right. Interesting.
Great choice. So the arrowhead would look like this.
Wow. Wow.
It's fairly big and heavy.
Excuse
But if
me.
you think,
Oh, goodness me.
And it's
excuse me. It looks like a big leaf.
yes,
like a big blade.
And it also has some gold
Beautiful.
resin, and there's a yet even bigger one.
Wow. Awesome.
Yes.
Oh my goodness me.
And you can see.
Oh, big as your hand.
I do have a big hand, but you can see how big it is.
So this is for armor or just for like going through the body?
It could be for hunting. That would be my guess. For hunting,
yeah, yeah.
But like I was discussing with Rob Morton, and he also loves Indian or North Indian arrowheads.
Yeah.
They had such a huge variety. They made whatever you can imagine. They have it historically accurate. They have thousands of different shapes. So you can, yes, this would be my favorite one. It's rather small.
Yeah, very nice.
I love the elegance of it.
Beautiful.
Another one that is very typical for India would be this one.
Why is there a gap in the middle? What is that for?
It represents, according to most people, Jack Farrell, Peter Decker, it represents the push dagger. So I'll try to.
Right.
I don't know the word for that dagger, but
yeah, it goes. It can fit in the hand. You mean like a bigger version? You can fit in the hand.
Yes, this
right,
part.
Right.
This part with the handle.
Yes.
Punch with it.
Interesting.
Another thing that I love about Indian arrowheads, it's never ending.
Wow. Look at the detail.
It's a really beautiful shape.
Lovely.
Yes. Yeah. But most time for the armor piercing would be this.
Oof, look at
also,
that. Wow.
Very big and heavy.
Yeah.
And especially if you're defending off the wall, it would be much harder to shoot it up.
Are these made of like what type of metal? Is it steel or is it what Damascus steel? What type of metal are they made from?
Middle layer would be one that holds the edge, and the other ones would be the one that prevents from breaking.
Sorry, the line just cut a little bit there, Zach. Just repeat what you said. What type of metal they're made from?
Yes, the middle layer would be most likely, like on swords, would be the harder steel. Yeah. That's easier to break.
Right.
But the outer layers would be softer steel that prevents from breaking.
Right.
And gives you the weight and stability. So that's my assumption.
So they're made of layers, not just one piece of steel. Then it's like laminate steel, I guess, something like that.
Yes. I'm sure Peter Decker would know more about it, and I'm really looking forward to see that interview, because over the years, me and Peter Decker, we got so many conversations, so many arguments, exchanges, and yet we are still really good friends. We happen to have the kids roughly at the same time, so we got the same problems.
Nice.
He doesn't pick the message, it's okay. I know how it is.
Yeah.
But, he got recently into more research into Indian arrows, and it's really fascinating.
Interesting.
Just to compare experience this and that. And, you know, you have one specimen I have.
Yeah.
Indian quivers, I got interested too, yet I never finished the research because something would pop up and I would,
Yeah.
like a little girl, oh, look, something shiny, off I go.
Yeah, I
I
think Indian you know, Indian archery is less researched and less well known. When we think of traditional archery, we think, you know, Japanese, Korean, Hungarian, you know, things like this, Mongolian, or
no,
maybe it's just myself. But with Indian archery, it's not. I don't think it's as well exposed as some of the other cultures.
only to us. It is less known to us. But
Yes.
in India, they still have a strong tradition. They're dedicated to it. It's only that we got the renewed interest in the last 20 years in China and Europe.
Yeah.
That there's more information, but India still has a strong tradition.
Yeah.
Some of the Indian arrowheads that I ordered from my blacksmith, I was about to take a measurements, and he said, "Nobody, you don't have to do that." You know, which is very nice.
That's good.
This is.
Oh, very nice.
That would be reproductive.
Yeah. These are also Indian.
Keep them identical weight. So if you want to make identical set, yes, or identical arrows would be used in Pakistan as well. So I'm really reluctant to call anything to a certain region, especially nowadays. If there's a, let's say, quiver from Kashmir, how are you going to call it? Indian or Pakistani?
Right. Good. You know? Yeah. Good point. Good point. We have to be careful. Yeah. Yeah. For sure.
Also, I don't like to call quivers Hungarian, Kuman, certain Mongolian, because it would be produced like a modern weapons nowadays by state or something. It would be a bunch of craftsmen, but they got similar taste, and they would produce lots of them. And if it's found, let's say the tubular quiver that we associate with everybody calls it Kuman, and lots of people call it Mongolian, Hungarian, Serbian. It's built by craftsmen, perhaps in Crimea.
Right, right.
And it just happened to be depicted in art, or it was found in certain areas, but it was widespread. So same thing like Yap's bows.
Yes.
They're different than anything else. They're based on something, but him, after all these years, he got his taste that he thinks it should be done.
Absolutely, absolutely. That's very interesting, Zach. Thank you. We appreciate your time and showing us a little glimpse into your workshop. You know, your tools that you have.
Yes. One last thing. Now I can see that everybody can see. This is the quiver before it's finished.
Ah, yes.
I think I might have in a toolbox. Oh yes. So we talk about the simple project that was the whole idea behind it. So this would be leather cut.
Right.
That's not shade.
Basic rawhide. Yeah.
Vegetable tanned cowhide.
Yeah.
Then
yes.
Holes pre-punched would go with it.
Right.
And then here's the stitching.
Okay.
There's a bottom piece. I really pride myself with the edge work.
Very,
it's not historically
very
accurate, but yes. And all the hardware attached.
Excellent.
So that would be basic project. That if there's any interest or anything like that, it could be put into 1-day clinic or 2
Really?
days.
Yeah, yeah.
Yes,
I think I would definitely like to look into the possibility of doing something like that with you. It's just a matter of looking into what materials are needed and tools, etc. I remember in the UK we did a long time ago actually, a 1-day course or a weekend course on making a thumb ring. So we started off with a block of plastic acrylic, and then with hand tools and things we'd shave it down, and everyone gets to a different level, but at least they get the idea of what goes into making a thumb ring, and it's not as easy as people think. So obviously with something like a quiver, it's a lot more labor intensive, but just to give them the experience, I think it would be something I would like to do. So I'll have a think about that.
If I find the right drawer. Could be this one. I have to find the. I do thumb rings made out of leather.
Ah, okay.
The basic shape would look like this.
Okay, right.
And once you
fold it over, right?
There's a. I'm just gonna shape it and.
Yes.
At the back, and this would be my preferred choice of thumb ring.
Very nice. Very nice. Yeah.
Very easy to make. There's a couple of tricks that I did over the years, but it's a very easy thing to do. And also, it's so many older first generation of researchers. They pointed that most archers would actually use leather thumb ring. Not the metal ones and the expensive ones, but they're so perishable. A couple of years in my garden and you won't be able to find it.
Yeah, no, maybe that's a better idea for a clinic. It's a lot more realistic to do leather thumb rings, and then you can bring along your quivers or something. So maybe that's something we can think about for the future, hopefully post COVID.
Yes, most definitely.
Excellent, excellent. Zack, I know we've taken a bit of your time, but it's been very interesting, again, seeing your tools, where you do all the magic at your desk there. God bless your work, and God bless you, keep you healthy. And, you're really producing top level stuff. So we appreciate your high standard of taste. And this is something that's very important to maintain. Like you said, there's so many people out there who are taking shortcuts, and, it's unavoidable. There's always going to be people who are copying things, but as long as there are people like yourself, keeping to historical standards and keeping it very high, then this is what is going to keep it going, hopefully. So appreciate your time, and we'll definitely stay in touch.
No problem. Copying is fine with me. I copy other people too, so that's it's not a big much of an issue. It's that's just the way it goes. And
I think the main thing is just keeping up the standard and not making it too low standard. This is the problem.
It all takes time. It takes time. In time, it's gonna be much better, but it's a big effort. And if there's a market, people gonna bring up the quality.
For sure.
If we all cheap out, then quality gonna go down with it.
That's true.
Okay.
Okay, until next time, Zack, thank you very much, my friend. I'll speak to you very soon.
Thank you. Happy Father's Day.
And you. And you. Happy Father's Day. Bye.